So I've had these thoughts for a while, but I think going on vacation, clearing my head, being out there, chilling, thinking about stuff, I realized that I just kind of want to put it all on the table here and give you guys like insight, not only just the channel, but just like my thoughts with GS. It's no secret, GS is very much on a downward slope, especially with the most recent crossovers and stuff like that. It's just kind of seems that there's no popularity for this game at all anymore, or it's very limited. Like, just to put it in perspective, I know this isn't completely indicative of, you know, GS as a whole, but just like the overall popularity of Grand Summoners recently kind of reminds me of how GS was like year 1, year 2 of the game, where popularity really wasn't soaring, it wasn't really like peaking, it was kind of like very moderate. It's not like an insane amount of people engaging with videos, it's not tons of players, it's not a bunch of, you know, people talking about the game and everything. And I think there's a few reasons for that. Let's talk about the main one first. And this is one that I've said for a very long time, and it just finally caught up with the game because I was like, it's eventually going to happen. And it's crossovers that kind of lost their pool. Whenever you have a game like GS that constantly has new crossovers, and like these are like big banners to an extent, I feel like it kind of loses its value and they don't seem as special as they used to be. Of course, you know, it's still really cool whenever you get like a really hype crossover that we've never seen before. Our crossover banners are our festival banners, or our extremely limited banners, or true limited, if you will. And it makes it to where, for one, it's weird game balance wise. There's technically 2 limited banners, one being a crossover and one being a hero festival, because you get into the game and you're wondering, oh, how do I get this unit, like Okarun or whatever? It's like, okay, well, you need to wait for their crossover to come back, which we don't know when that's coming back. I don't know when Denden first came out. I have to actually look at it, but it's definitely been a while since we've had a rerun of it, and that unit is leaps ahead of every single character in the game. But, you know, he's from a crossover, so you're like, okay, well, I gotta wait till that crossover comes back, which we never know when that crossover will be coming back. It's not like other games. I think some other games, like maybe Puzzles and Dragons and stuff, I think it like takes what, like a year for a crossover to come back or something like that. I don't know if they actually have a schedule for it, but it seems like the reruns and stuff happen pretty frequently over there. So I think it wouldn't be bad if they had a schedule like that in place, where it's like, okay, well, if Okarun came out last year in May, he'll come out next year in May. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of cool. It's something like just a little bit of a schedule, some idea of like what's happening in the future. But also it's very strange too, because you get into the game and then you're like, okay, I want Ultimate Paladin Roy. Where it's like, well, you need to summon on a Hero Festival banner. And you're like, okay, cool, I'll just wait for the next Hero Fest. And it's like, no. It's not just wait for the next Hero Fest. Wait for the Hero Fest that he is on, and then you can summon for him. And you're like, wait, what? Which, granted, I don't think that we should have a banner, a Hero Festival banner with every single Hero Festival character in it. That's just the All-Star banner, right? But it definitely goes to show that like summoning in the game has been absolutely atrocious for so long, and the limited amount of like support for that, or like some way to fix it in any way, is kind of jarring, if you will, because this is a gacha game. This is what most of the game's content, everything else comes from, is the gacha. And the fact that the gacha has rarely seen any touch-up or anything of that sort is actually remarkable, to be honest. Of course, you know, some people may say, well, that's what the pity is, you know, it's going to be doing that, but still, you have the issue at hand about the entire banner system, is that not only is the pity just way too expensive, especially the new one, whenever you summon in GS, it never feels good. And I don't know if that matters to them or not, but whenever you summon in GS, you get the same characters you've been getting for the last 8 years. There are no new characters in the banner. There are no, like, oh, you know, you can get spooked and wind up pulling like a really cool character like Ultimate Paladin Roy or like Sanctus Platina. That doesn't happen. There is no random old 5-star in there. And I know like another game that is kind of similar to this would be something like Fate Grand Order. I know like with Fate Grand Order, there's a lot of the story units and stuff in the banners. In that game, it's different because those units are actually usable. Sure, you know, they may not be as broken as some of the new shiny toys, but comparative to GS, whenever you pull on a banner and you summon and you get 5 stars, it's not even exciting because all those units are absolutely garbage. It's gonna be like Ash Chodo, Zoldy's, Olgeth, Eden, and Herrick, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but like, I can't use any of them, which is wild to me. While some people will say like, don't put ascended characters in the base pool, like it's some type of huge gatekeep, or it's some type of like luxury to have ascended units. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are acting like it's the PS4 to the PS5 era, right? You know, it's 2026, and well, let's just say before the price hike, hopefully you got a PS5, but you know, if you don't got a PS5 by now, you're not getting one if you're still rocking out with the PS4. This is the current generation of units. We are in the current era, which is the Ascended era. It's not rare. They're not LRs. They're not whatever you want to think they are. They are the unit to use. We don't get awoken characters anymore. We only get ascended units. So why aren't the banners reflective of that? We definitely have enough characters in the game now to actually put some ascended units into the banner pool, like just all the time. I know it's crazy, but why not let it happen? So that way we at least are getting something. Which this kind of leads me into my next point, which is the game is virtually the same and no longer evolving. And I don't just mean this like unit wise, I also mean this content wise. Now, I feel like whenever GS, and I know it's like different because whenever it first came out, we didn't know what to expect or anything like that, but it was very cool like what they were doing moving forward. With the Magia Drive characters, they had Unlimited Blade Works. Then you had the Ninjas, which was virtually the same as the Magia Drive units, because they just had Third Eye, which acted as a Magia Drive kind of. But you know, that was the first time we saw some type of transformation in the game, and that was very cool. And then we kind of saw it break off a little bit. Then you had units like Juno come out, where she had Demonic True Eclipse, which wasn't really a Magia Drive, but something entirely different. And let's not forget like some of the other characters that came after that. Like, you know, if we even fast forward to the Ascended era, in the beginning of the Ascended era, one of the things that I said was how cool they made a lot of the characters be, because so many units had so much versatility and they were able to have like a complete kit, because for a while there during the Awoken era, it felt like their kits weren't complete to an extent. Like they were always missing something. Like War God Finn, he has this crazy support with the art and true art, but he also has a bit of damage on that super art. You have a unit like Canary, for an example, where Canary's like this status effect juggling character, which sure, they probably could have done this as an Awoken unit, but as an Ascended character, she's really cool because she can juggle through all these status effects. And whenever she juggles through all these status effects, she changes her element and she starts dealing all this different type of elemental damage. The only thing I wish Canary could do is I wish you could change her element before you even go into a quest. So you could load into the quest as Earth Canary or Fire Canary or Water Canary, you know? I think that would be really cool. And that way she could be slotted in on even other mono teams, because you could just say, hey, she's an Earth character now, or hey, she's a fire character now, you know? Like, I think that would be sick. It really would. I think like it definitely goes to show whenever it comes with like the newer characters, the new Mizuki, for an example, if you guys haven't seen that yet, the new Mizuki is very questionable because he's a character that they released, and even with all the units in the game now, it feels like he will underperform because he needs to be the only human character in the lineup, by the way. That's like the entire gist of him, is that he needs to be the only human character. If you use him right now, he's pretty lackluster because the entire team has to be severely underpowered or just borderline dysfunctional for him to make his gimmick work. And he's only a unit if you can make his gimmick work, because he doesn't get any other type of effects if you're only in regular Third Eye, really. I mean, of course he has the crit and everything else, but his kit doesn't change. It's just a bunch of modifiers if you're just in regular Third Eye. I will say, you know, I'm glad that they did do something different with this Mizuki, but I'm definitely just been like, man, it's weird that you guys are releasing a character like this. Let's not even talk about the recent crossover units. Jesus Christ, dude. The recent crossover characters, I've said this, I've had this gripe about all of them, and you guys already know, if you watch the channel, you know exactly what I'm about to say, but a lot of the recent crossover characters feel so incomplete. I would say everything after Dandadan, the units are missing just one thing. And there may be like one unit in the crossover that's complete. Like, for example, Solo Leveling comes after Touhou, and Solo Leveling has Igris. Igris is hands down a broken character. Alright, sorry about that. My cat let me know that he had a few big booms in his litter box. Not only has it just been the units though that have kind of been extremely lacking recently, especially when it comes to crossovers, just the content in general. Gacha games are notorious for having terrible end games, and I'll say this too, I don't think the end game matters as much as a lot of other people think. The gameplay loop is fun, the end game could be whatever, to be honest. But oh my lord, is the best thing GS can come up with truly just crest farming? out of every single thing in this game is the best thing that the GS dev team come up with is just crest. I kid you not, crest farming is hands down one of the most mundane things you can do in your entire life. Even if you auto loop it, which is what 99.9% of players do, if you still manual that thing, dude, you gotta get out of 2018, bro. We are no longer in the Stone Ages, man, please. Well, I wouldn't say all, but I would say majority of vet players are just only getting on for crest farms, or specifically half off crests, because that's whenever I do that. A lot of my friends, that's whenever they get on and play, it's only whenever it's half off crests. Apart from that, GS is just log in, get your rewards, and log off for the day. And you don't even do your daily missions, because I mean, some people be like, oh well, it adds up over time. Yeah, I guess, but like, why would I waste my time doing daily missions? I mean, sure, if you do the weeklies and stuff, you'll get like the LB stones, but if you're a vet, more than likely you have more LB stones than you know what to do with, because you've done every single event that's ever came out. So like, come on. Which I know is like a, oh, my steak's a bit too juicy and my potatoes are a bit too buttery type deal. But it's true though, because like, what's the point of actually doing it? And even if like the daily missions were somewhat good and you wanted to do them, that still would only be like a band-aid fix, and it would make it to where you play GS for probably like 5 minutes longer a day, and that was it. And the thing is, it's crazy, is that I don't really know what they could do to like fix the whole gameplay loop at the end of the game. Crest farming's cool and all, but like after you've done it for, you know, almost 9 years, it's getting a bit stale. You know what I mean? Just a little bit stale. And talking about doing something for 9 years, GS is getting extremely old. Like extremely old when it comes to the gacha terms. You know, they're gearing up for the 10-year anniversary in JP. You know, that'll be happening later this year, an entire decade of Grand Summoners. But right now it's been 9 years of GS, and I don't want to say that it needs to get completely overhauled, but it's more so that I think we just have to come to terms with this game probably has already seen its peak popularity, and what we see now is more than likely what its popularity is going to be until the game eventually fizzles out, which is kind of sad to say, but I mean, it just happens with these games, right? I doubt that we're going to see like a resurgence of players or anything like that, because the game is old. Whenever someone looks at the game, they're like, holy shit, I have to catch up to 10 years worth of content, which I'm going to be honest, it may sound like that, but it's really just, I guess, catching up to the units. And the thing is too, like, if you start playing the game now, I feel like you probably get so many crystals if you literally do everything. Like, you do all the events, all the story, all of the side stories and stuff. I would assume you probably get a ridiculous amount of currency now compared to like whenever I started, which was just chapter 1 through 5. That's all that was in the game. There was no other chapter in the game. It's becoming more and more daunting for new players to get into the game and to see like everything the game has to offer, plus the fact that it is a gacha game. And I would say just the nature of gacha games kind of drive people away, especially ones that's been up forever, because you're like, okay, well now I gotta do a power creep, I gotta get this unit, and then thankfully, well, I say thankfully, but it's a double-edged sword, you know, our Dream Awakenings and stuff in the game aren't that good. Like, you know, this isn't like Dokkan where you need a summon for this unit that came out like 5 years ago and they're getting easy aid now and they're insanely broken. So it's not like stuff like that you have to worry about, but you still got to worry about missing all these crossover characters and everything else, because the fact GS still doesn't give you like an actual team, I'm talking about like a starter team of some kind, is insane to me. Because if you start, say right now, like Toho for an example, dude, you have nothing. Like, in all honesty, you literally have nothing. You have a huge nothing burger of an account. If we go straight into solo leveling after this, then that means that you're going to be getting a mono dark character, which surprise surprise, new players can't use a singular element type team. They will only have Jinu if that's the case, and then they have to wait for Igris, and it's a gamble if they'll even get Igris or Jinu. You're not re-rolling anymore, right? You literally have an established account, now you just have to summon. It'd be different if they gave you like some kind of starter team with like just some base ascended units. It could be like some units that they just make themselves, or, you know, they just like do the story characters but ascend them just for like a quick update, not like anything crazy. They could have the same fucking animations as, you know, regular Reyes, Iris, and all of them, but just make them all ascended for a story team that you can have to be able to clear content. You get into the game now, drop you in, and it's like, what do I do? You know, it's just this infinite library, if you will, of all this stuff. You have all these units, all these terms being thrown around. Heavens forbid, depending on who you talk to, you may have the best experience or the worst experience ever. I mean, I guess that's just life in general, but I think it's definitely more on the extremes when it comes to GS. So instantly, you know, you're probably going to either love the game or hate it just based on how people talk to you, especially if you go into like more social areas like Reddit or Discord. Kind of funny, I call that social when majority of people are antisocial on there, but I'm trying to get at anybody. It's just funny. It's like a social app, but most people who use those apps, I would say, are pretty antisocial. Or then you go and look at like all of my videos, which, you know, I have hundreds of videos. You know, we're over 1,000 videos on the channel, Chad. Over 1,000 videos on the channel. So you go look at this and you may just be completely overwhelmed at the fact that there's so many videos and you're looking at like all these different things, trying to figure out like how I use this character, how I use this character, what to do with this one, what to do with that one, all this type of stuff, which we've talked about it. We've said it for years and they still are like, yeah, we're working on something, but they're not really showing what they're working on. You know, they're not really talking about what's making stuff better. I think that's a big factor when it comes to like just the overall popularity of GS and people sticking with the game. And the last one is more so just a point that is specifically for me. It's not like just talking about the game. It's just my emotional attachment, I guess you would say, with the game, is that I've been extremely bored, even with like my very limited playtime over the last few months, which literally just consists of me logging in, doing Crest Farms, and recording videos. But even that, you know, gets kind of boring at times and makes it to where I don't really want to do it because, I mean, I've got to the point where I've felt like I've kind of done everything with the game. I've done skits, I've done guides, I've done, you know, showcases, I've done challenges. What else is there to do? You know what I mean? But here's the kicker to all this. I'm eagerly awaiting something, like anything the GS dev team can throw at me. I am extremely hopeful and anticipating something good. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And I know some people be like, OP, well, go play other games, go do that, go do this. Dude, what do you want me to like post on this channel? It's really hard for me to find other games that I want to make content on. Just because I love a game doesn't mean I want to make videos on it. It's a very weird dichotomy I have where I could love a video game. I could play it non-stop, but I don't really want to make videos on it because not my cup of tea, kind of. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I shouldn't make a video on it. Like there's nothing I could add to this spectrum or this field of content. I would just possibly come out and it's like, oh, okay, it was just another guy, you know what I mean? Like I play Marvel Rivals a lot, which is in a very poor state right now, if I do say so myself, between Black Cat and Devil Dino running the scene. If those two go through the ban phase, you will probably have the worst gaming experience of your entire life, which is very, very cool. Which, mind you, this is coming from someone who is a avid Devil Dino enjoyer. I love Devil Dino. I love doing the little Punisher team up and everything. But Jesus Christ, if he's in my ranked games and he goes through the ban phase, I hate the next 15 to 20 minutes of my life. People may be like, but OP, don't you already hate the next 15 to 20 minutes of your life whenever you play ranked? Yes, but I hate it more whenever Devil Dino goes through, or Black Cat. Jesus Christ, dude, especially Black Cat. And the thing is, no pun intended, no one will sit through the thing. Like I try to play the thing and I get flamed. Like, I just want to be a thing main and people flame me for playing thing, but you don't say shit about the people playing Blade. Or the other game that I played, which is kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a gacha game as well, but it's Ultra Rumble. I don't know what it is about this game, man. I just play it nonstop. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like, if I don't have anything to do and I just want to like fuck around, I just play Ultra Rumble. And like, it's just kind of like a good mix of, which is going to sound probably a little funny to people who know about Ultra Rumble, but it's like the perfect mix of a little bit of depth, a little bit of fun gameplay, and then also like the team aspect of it, especially if you're playing with friends. It's kind of like just the perfect balance where there's a little bit of everything here, and it gives me enough to be able to want to keep playing. But I will say towards the end of the season, I do get hit with that, what the fuck am I doing? New season just came out and I got to get through this battle pass again. And I also got to get to Ace rank again, which probably will take me like a week, maybe, depending on how much I play. You know, and apart from those two games, like people be like, oh, don't you play other gachas? Dude, no. Apart from Ultra Rumble, ironically, that's like the only other gacha that I've personally played. Like I was gonna make a video talking about my most anticipated gachas coming out. I even made like an entire list, most anticipated gacha list, supposed to be Monster Hunter Outlanders, Digimon Elysian, JoJo Golden Spirit, and then I think it's also Digimon Up. I'm a big Digimon fan, so you know there's that. So you know maybe I'll try those games when they come out, but I still haven't even made that video. And even with that one, it's like, man, dude, I don't know, maybe I'm just like gacha gamed out. I don't know, like I'm interested, because, you know, I want to play these new games, but also I'm like, oh, it's going to be the same loop, the same cycle that I've been used to for years. It's not like I'm playing a gacha game and I'm going to be seeing a different experience than what I see somewhere else. Like right now I'm playing Minna the Hollower on my Switch. That just came out like last night. Been fantastic so far. I've got about like an hour or two in it. Kind of old school, but with like some new school flair, you know, kind of like Dark Soulsy a little bit with some of the stuff in it. It's interesting because it's like this is an entirely new experience, but whenever you go play another gacha game, even if the story, the setting, the gameplay is completely different, the loop is always the same. Do your dailies, do your weeklies, do the weekly missions if there are any. Make sure you have everything done before the weekly reset. Do this over and over till we get new content. New content comes out. Play the story. Play the new challenge quest. Or if you have an open world game, explore the entire region, get all 99 pine cones, and then go back to doing your daily missions, do your weeklies, do your weekly missions. Like, man, dude, it's hard to find other stuff, which I'm so glad now, like my friends, we just be playing like random ass games sometimes. Like we don't even like try to play these big multiplayer games. Usually it's like more co-op games like Far Far West. Jesus Christ, dude, what a game. What a fun game. But yeah, you know, that's just a little rant of mine, a little bit of thoughts, kind of like where I am personally in my headspace with GS and all that. It's not like I'm necessarily quitting the game or anything. I feel like I kind of deserve to tell you guys, especially I think the most recent content. It's not like this is an excuse for how it's been, but I would say kind of like the more recent videos, you've seen just me kind of chop it up, maybe put a few sound effects in there, a few pop-ups, but nothing like crazy editing wise. I think like the most recent video that I edited pretty crazy was the Jane video, because Jane looked really cool and was probably the one character where I was like, yeah, this guy, he has the sauce. They absolutely cooked with Jane. Apart from like the Jane video, I mean, every other video that's came out has just been very much chopped up, kind of put together, you know, to where it flows and it's okay. But it's been really hard for me to like really give it my all to an extent recently when it comes to GS. You guys let me know down below in the comment section how you all feel about GS recently and like how everything is going. We'd love to hear like your thoughts, or just, you know, in general, you know, how's life going? You know, it couldn't just be GS related, it could just be your life. And that's gonna be it for this one, man. Thank you all so much for hanging out. It's been your boy P. You can like the video if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you didn't. It's up to you. Also, if you want me to do more of these like talking style videos, or if you want me to do videos on a different game of some kind, you know, please let me know. That's gonna be it for this one. Thank you all again for hanging out, and last but not least, don't forget to drink water.